Welcome back to Homestead. Taking a little break today. I want this video to air on July the 4th, 2023. Happy Independence Day to everybody watching. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. So, this past week, I thought I was going to be picking my corn, but obviously not. So, the tassels have not turned brown yet, and they're turning, but they're not quite there. That was during the heat of 100 and something index, so it was terrible outside all week last week, guys. We were getting up at 4 o'clock trying to do gardens and animals. I was putting the frozen water bottles down in the chicken waters. I mean, it was miserable. So I had everything wrapped up every morning, no later than 7:30. The hottest day, it was 90 degrees at I think 9:30 or 10 o'clock. So it was rough. High 90s every day. No rain, but we had a thunderstorm yesterday afternoon, and we're back cooking. So the raised beds, all I'm going to tell you is this. I've got a video coming out. You can plant heat-loving crops in extreme heat. And I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to show you the results, okay? So I think you'll be very interested in that. But last week, while I had a lot of downtime, either I was canning or I was inside, and I'm never inside, ever inside during the summertime. And I said, you know what? I'm going to read a little bit. I haven't read anything, honestly, like sat down and read a novel for years. I've not done that, honestly, since school. So I have a college education, and I always ended up taking world history. I never really had American history the whole time that I was in school. There were bits and pieces, but you're only taught certain things, and there's so much history out there. I mean, it would take all your school years to learn about it, every little thing that happened. So I get it, but there's so many things that I didn't know about. Well, my husband loves this kind of stuff, and I've gotten him books before, and in fact, one book I read last week was a Western. And it was just a little Western book. And I said, this is really good. I enjoyed it. Well, the other one I got him, and I got it as soon as it came out. I was wanting to read it myself, but just never found time. Was this book right here by Brian Kilmeade, Sam Houston, and the Alamo Avengers. Guys, if you have never read this, I would highly recommend it. Now, I know very, very little on the history of Texas. That was not taught to me. And most of what I was taught was always World War II and bits and pieces of Vietnam, but mainly World War I and World War II. But this right here, this book was extremely well written. It was a great book, and I learned so many things that I didn't know. Now, my husband knew all of it. I'd say, hey, did you know this? Did you know Davy Crockett was in the Alamo? I had no clue, y'all. I was never taught that stuff. And he said, well, yeah, I knew that, but he likes American history, and he loves World War II, but he likes that kind of stuff. And I just learned the best information and knowledge from that book, and it just struck a chord with me because I was trying to learn a little bit about American history, and since it's the 4th, and I was trying to just brush up on it and bored with the heat, and I thoroughly enjoyed that book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, there were so many enlightening things that I had no clue. Well, yesterday, we had church, we come home, and my husband loves the Grit channel, if y'all have ever heard of that. That and the Inspiration channel, it's always Westerns on. And we watch them all the time, and he said, hey, there's a Western coming on at 1 o'clock I think you'll want to see. And I said, I'm busy, I can't watch that right now. He said, no, I think you need to come see this movie. And it was called The First Texan with Joel McCrea, if y'all ever heard of Joel McCrea. And I said, I've never seen that one of his. And he said, well, it's about Sam Houston. Come sit down. I watched that from the beginning to the end, and that was the best movie. And I just finished this book up yesterday in the wee hours of the morning. And I was just hooked. I couldn't quit it. And that couldn't have been any better. And I haven't seen that movie played on there. I mean, I haven't really looked for it, but I have not seen that movie played. I said, that couldn't have been any better, the timing. But it was great. It was great. But Sam Houston and all the men that fought in the Alamo, William Travis, all of them, guys, that's gumption. That's grit. And that right there, You know, that's independence. And that's people that put everything that they had on the line, and including their lives. It cost them their lives for independence, all of the men in the Alamo. And what does that have to do with homesteading? Well, that's got a lot to do with homesteading. Y'all, if you're homesteading, or if you're wanting to homestead, you're watching me right now. And, you know, you have to want to be independent. That's how you get into this. You want to be independent. You want to grow your own food. You want to do things on your own. You don't want to depend on the government. You don't want to depend on anybody. You want to strike out on your own. And it said somewhere in the book, and I cannot remember who did it. And it might be something else, because I've already started one on the American Revolution for tomorrow. And someone in the book drew a line in the sand. And how many times have we heard that they drew a line, draw a line in the sand? And they said, hey, if you're following me, and he struck out a line, he said, you come with me over here. But if you're not, then just stay over there. And guys, that was pulling at my heartstrings. I said, oh, that got me, because it takes a lot of courage to strike out and want to separate yourselves, to be different and to do what you love, and to follow your dreams. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. The core of these individuals, they had the belief that independence was priceless, and they were going to get it one way or the other. They were convicted in this. They had their convictions and their morals, and they weren't going back down. I'm that way. I struck out. I wanted to do things on my own. I wanted to have a better life. I think a lot of y'all are on the same page with me here. I said in my last video, Faith, Purpose, and Knowledge. I thought that was a great video. Now, the filming come out wonky. I don't know why. I was shrunk to like 1 inch, but you could still hear what I was saying, and I thought it was, in my own opinion, I thought it was great. Like, I thought, man, I just wish people would listen to this, and the views were so down on that. It was terrible. And I thought, I wish I could just get to one person on this. Faith and knowledge, you've got that, I could say that, but the purpose, that ties in with independence. You've got to know your purpose, or either you better be finding it out and wanting to know how to be independent. You have to be independent, whether it was these people here or whatever. They struck out on their own. They didn't care that they were different. They wanted something, and they were just purely convicted that they were going to get it, and they knew that it was right. And my favorite part on the I won't spoil the book for you. If you have not read it, please go read it, or just brush up on the history tonight. It all started over a cannon that said, "Come and take it." And that, to me, guys, that's bad to the bone. That they knew what they were doing, and they didn't care. They did not care. They stood out amongst so many people. Now, I've been reading this on the American Revolution. A lot of people, they said it was half split, 50-50 down the line. Half of these people did not want to break away from Great Britain. They wanted to stay under their rule and be in the colony. They did not want to be America, a free, entity. They did not want that. But the ones that did struck out, and they said, no, this is what we're going to do, and this is why. And, that's what Independence Day is about. It's independence. And you can apply this to yourself if you're a homesteader or this lifestyle, because this is the most independent lifestyle you can have. The only other way would be off-grid. But to grow your own food, have your own hobbies, buy very, very little at the store. You could make it without going to the store. That is independence. And a bulk of this, guys, a lot of people won't agree with this, but the bulk of independence is not owing anyone. And I mean, from financially to whatever. I just cannot take debt. My motto is, don't have debt that you don't have the cash for. I don't own a credit card. I can't. I can't even, I don't even want it. I had like zero credit until I bought a car, because I just never bought anything. And on credit or, you know, anything like that. And I thought it was silly. The first thing they said was, well, you need to get a credit card. I don't want a credit card. That's, you know, if you pay it off immediately or something, it's good to have, but I just cannot owe anything more than what I have in the bank, or what I just can't do that. I couldn't sleep at night. I could not lay my head down and sleep peacefully. I couldn't live peacefully. And I think a lot of people don't live peacefully because they owe the man. And I couldn't do it. I could not do it. If you're wanting to be independent, I think a lot of people are set out this way. They're just born this way. It's how they're hardwired. Either, you know, a line drawn in the sand. Either you're going to be dependent, you're going to love the flashy things and have a lot of debt, and you're going to have, you're going to be taking fancy trips and fancy cars and you're spending and everything else, and that's fine. But it's always constantly owing someone. And are you really paying for, are you happy? You're paying for happiness. And do you really own anything? Now, on this side of the line, you may not have a lot. You may be out here trying to do the best you can and do it on your own. But do you owe anyone? Do you have to answer to anyone? Do you want to answer to anyone? You can go right back over there. Or you can get over here. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard either way to make that conversion. But you can do it. You can convert to independence today. You can set your mind to it. Just like those men in the Alamo. You got to decide, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be independent. We're not going to owe anybody. We're going to break out of the system. We're going to grow our own food. We're going to do everything by hand. We're going to start with stuff simple. When you start with something simple, like I said, when I made homemade pasta for the first time, or homemade bread, that unlocks the door and opens it up for more things. You're a little bit more braver. You're happier. You're accomplished. You see you can do something, baby steps, so you start doing something more and something more and something more. You don't have to start out by saying, well, I want a homestead, so today we're going to spin wool. That's not how it goes. That's not, you can't. You're setting yourself up for failure. You have to take baby steps and enjoy it. And there's a lot of debate right now. I've seen many people on YouTube and even Facebook today. Someone said, well, will raised beds supply my family with enough food? And then everybody was saying, no, raised beds won't. That was discouraging that person from even trying. No, it's not going. We don't grow everything we eat. Not by far. It doesn't hurt though, and they're getting a new skill. And really, most of what we eat comes out of our raised beds. Now, we've got in-ground gardening, but I'm going to tell you, a raised bed, you can control predators better. Deer, everything else in your backyard. If you have a fairly large yard, you can grow a lot of food. Enough to have a $30 grocery bill. If you have in-ground gardens, you can plant all day. I've planted everything from pumpkins to tomatoes to corn. Deer have eaten every bit of it. Corn is just about the only thing that I can grow in my pasture garden. And this year's the first year they decided to eat it because I didn't have anything else planted for them to eat besides tomatoes, and they ate every one of those to a nub. Ate the top side of them. It was just terrible. So yeah, you can grow food in raised beds, and you'll really be surprised at how much you can grow. So, and if you do that, then maybe next year or the next 2 years, you might add another bed, and then you might add another one, and another one. That's how it starts, but you got to start somewhere. So, and it's being independent. You're growing your own food. You're doing your own things. Guys, several years ago, I worked nonstop, and pretty much all that I did that really it made me want to change my lifestyle. I worked, I ate junk, I watched TV, and I slept. That's all I did. And one day I was just sitting there, and I know the Lord laid this on my heart, but I was just sitting there thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? My whole 20s was wasted. Wasted. And if you think back about what you did, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything I did, because it was the same cycle every day. I mean, you wake up, you eat junk, you watch TV. So much time was spent watching TV. I wasn't out doing anything. And I was one of these that, guys, like when I say fast food, I mean every day. It was every day. And TV, I got into all these reality TV shows like Housewives and all that. I told my cable company, I said, look, just take this off. Just take it off. They still won't take it off. Why? I don't know. I said, just disconnect it. You watch it and you get, it's a circus. And so you're hooked on it to see what they're going to do the next time. And I think so many people watch shows like that because they have a lot of problems of their own. And it's like an escape. And you feel camaraderie with them, and it's entertainment, and it's just addictive. And instead of watching what others are doing, I'm out here doing on my own. And I can assure you, trying to live an independent lifestyle, I'm so busy I don't have time to watch what other people are doing. That's social media and TV today. That's all we do is watch others. But what kind of advice are you getting? What kind of influence are they giving you? Any kind of publication, news, books, whatever, it will influence you. It will influence you. Is it for the good or for the bad? The less that, so much today, it's like it's just put right here in your face of social media. What's Susie Q doing? What's Billy Brown doing? What's all these people doing right here in your face? And then you're on TV watching, what are they doing? What are they doing? Either you're on the news or you're on reality watching, what are they doing? What are they doing? Nothing's just a storyline anymore. Nothing is like a Western. You just put it on and you just watch the story. The rest of it, either it's all reality TV. And guys, that's just as much of a story as an old Western. It really is. And it's addictive. It really is. But like I said, I'm so busy now doing things by hand and on my own that I don't have time, and I've got a purpose. And I'm so wrapped up in what I'm doing, I don't have to watch other people to be fulfilled because I'm doing it on my own. So the line is drawn in the sand. For anybody homesteading or wanting to homestead, you can go over here and you can say, yeah, I'm going to live this type of life. I don't mind being in debt. I don't mind doing that's fine. But if you're wanting to cross that line and come over here, I'm telling you, it's a better life. It's a better life. I've been on both sides. I wish I could convert people. I wish I could, tell them, hey, I was there. And it's hard. It's real hard to make people understand what the life entails. There's something so simple about this that but you have to have a drive to want to get out here and do things on your own. You have to, and you want to finally step out of the crowd and say, hey, I'm different. I'm going to be different. I'm going to go over here and do things with the old ways because that's what I want to do. And I think there's still some goodness left in this type of lifestyle over here. So we're going to strike out and go over here and do it. No matter what's cool or popular or what everyone else says. That is a hard task. I don't think that anybody in history that really fought for their morals, convictions, or independence, I don't think they had it easy. I don't think anyone did. There wouldn't have been battles fought off over this if it was. There was always a reason. Independence is a precious thing to be acquired, whether it be on the battlefield or in your backyard. And you can do it in your backyard. You can, I promise you. If you just spend, say 30 minutes a day outside with your animals or your garden, things inside your mind, they start shifting. They start shifting into a different mindset. You're humble. You're more patient. I am the world's most impatient person. I have gained patience. Everything comes with age. I'm aware of that. But that garden has helped me. I see those big green tomatoes. I want them to be red so bad. But I learned patience. And finally you sit back and say, well, I know it's coming. It'll happen. Just enjoy the process. They'll turn. They'll turn. Just like my corn. I said it'd be ready by the 4th. It's not. It'll turn. It'll get ready. It's teaching me to be patient. When you're patient, other good things come along. You make better life choices. You like the simpler life. You try something new for once. You like it, so it opens the door to trying something else. Like I said, you don't start day one spinning wool or building a cabin by hand. You don't do that. It takes time and influence and a process and independence. But if you've got the drive there and you've got the want to, and you want to strike out and say, hey, I am going over here and I'm going to try to live a simple life. I'm going to get debt free. That's step one. And I'm going to raise my children at home. We're going to homeschool them, or I'm going to grow my own food, or whatever choice you make. It opens the door for other things. You have to take that initial step, and you have to be ready to work. You cannot be afraid of hard work. This is the hardest thing I have ever done, but it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. My life has purpose. My life has fulfillment. My life has enjoyment. And every time I see what we grew, I see that plate full of things that either my husband got, like a deer processed, or either, vegetables that I grew, anything. We did this. The good Lord provided for us. But it's like I don't know how to say this. It's like I'm closer to God. You're walking hand in hand with Him. There's so many distractions today. It's so far out, y'all. It's so far out there. It's crazy. But the simpler it is, and there's no noise. It's gotten where I don't even turn on the TV. If I'm ever here alone, I don't turn it on. I don't hear it. The more I have that less distractions, the more I can hear my thoughts. I can hear my heart. I can hear what's my direction, my thoughts, when's the last time you really sat down and thought? It's been a long time, probably. Everything's so fast paced, they don't listen to themselves, much less other people. So, guys, independence is a precious thing. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm so thankful to everyone that has fought and died for my country and my own independence. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I would encourage everybody to try to learn our history. I'm going to set a goal for that. I would like to learn more. And honestly, y'all, it's been a long time since I've just sat down and enjoyed a book. And I've enjoyed it so much. And I've joined a group about historical books and all that. And I said, I would really like to just sit down and learn this stuff. And even if it's a few pages a night, I would like to, because I've always been taught everyone else's history and not my own. And I think that that's so important and just very unique, very unique. And it struck a chord with me of how we're, as homesteaders, that's your most independent lot. Pulling back from society in modern times, that's your most independent people. They're trying their best because they know there's a purpose. They know this, and they've got it. They've just got to stick with it and keep going. So, chin up, keep after it. I would love to know what all of our founding fathers would say today. I would love to know if we could bring them to current times. That would be some more conversation, I'm sure. Guys, happy 4th of July. Keep this up here, okay? We'll see you next time on Homestead.